Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Viddishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Yogena Padena Vajam Malam Sharirasya Javaidagena Yopakarotam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi Patanjalim Pranjaliranatosmi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri BrahmaVidya ki jai. After the manifestations of samadhis, the 13th sutra was regarding the manifestation theory of outside objects, Bhuta Indriyas. So there, how we see the manifestation. Here, the sutra is giving the meaning or what is manifestation. So when we say manifestation, modification, the definition of manifestation. So this is the definition of manifestation. One substance change its quality. In one form it is with a particular characteristics, and the other form it is with some other characteristics. So this is, we can say, as modification, a manifestation of substance. That is dharma parinama. Then otherwise, when we think about an object, we connect with that object with its symptoms, characteristics related to time. So this is another form of modification. The symptoms changes. And then avastha is a condition which is changing. This when we say old and new, this is a condition. Although this condition is related to time, we relate with the time. But sometimes even we relate with the time, in some objects we can't see the changes, oldness or new developments. In that case, this avastha is not seen there. Therefore, he distinguished the time-related symptoms changes and the avastha, the conditional changes. Like if we take, for example, the air is there. So we won't say the old air or new air. Air is always air. So there is we cannot see any state of oldness or new form. It is not seen, it is not obvious. So this is, in some object is like that. But there the qualities, sometimes the qualities changes. The qualities changing we can see in many of the objects. So this is a general definition of modification. The so-called modification is this. So this is starting from the ultimate cause, that is Prakriti. You can see here the ultimate cause. It is starting from there. The potential state of all elements, all modifications. Here when we connect with our samadhi, this is the similar state we experience in asamprajñāta samadhi or in deep sleep, where things are in unmanifested form. They are not manifested, they are not seen as objects. So these are the interconnection of this individual and the cosmic. Now the next sutra is with the dharmi. What is the characteristics of substance? Now substance is defined in next sutra. Shantodidavyapadeshya dharmanupati dharmi. So what is dharmi? Dharmi means with dharmas. Dharmas means characteristics, qualifications, qualities, modification. So this is with dharma, and it means characterized substance. An object which is with some character. So what are the character and what is the definition of dharmi is Shanta Udita Avyapadesha Dharmanupati. The substance will be there when some modification happens, and modifications are in present sometimes in past, already past, and sometimes it is uncertain. It is in unmanifested form, avyapadeshya. It cannot be predicted. You cannot describe it, what it is there. Like when you see a seed is a substance, an object. Now this seed is going to manifest as in the form of tree. When we see the seed, you will not find tree inside the seed. Although it is there, but it is in unmanifested form. You cannot see and specifically say this is the part of this tree. It cannot be. So this stage is also there in a substance. So sometimes we are unable to trace what is happening because of this. This is our fundamental state. We can say this is the nature of our body and mind. Especially mind. Body is also like that. Body is also having these three forms: past, present, and unmanifested. So Shanta is mean past. Udita means it is seen as in present. The character is defined and formed in active form. And Shanta means now that form is not there. The form changed. So like when the milk become curd, now it changed its form. You cannot find the qualities of milk in that curd. But even then the substance is the same. The lactobacteria or the calcium, whatever is there in the milk, that is the same. In that tanmatra form, subtle form. That is called substance. It means it doesn't change. When we take an example of this cloth has all these three forms. In the past, it was like in the form of threads. And before that, it was in the form of cotton. And before that, this cloth was in the form of cotton plant. And then before that, it was in the form of cotton plant seed. Now again, if you go before that, if you don't go before that, so we stop there. Otherwise, it will not end. So, you see, this cloth was there in the seed itself. Now it is untraceable. You cannot see cloth in the seeds of plant. If you bring all the seeds here and try to make cloth, no, impossible. Now in between the manifestation is necessary. So no other way but to bow it somewhere. You make a ground ready and bow it, then it become plant, and plants get flowers, and then seeds is happen, and with flower the cotton will come. So this is what the process. So this is what we say as udita. Now it is manifested. So this way you have to understand. Now you apply on yourself, this is very easy. If you apply outside, you must take all objects and try. If you apply yourself, it is directly useful. Because ultimately, we want to be satisfied and we want happiness. Knowing outside objects is waste. That is what this science is doing. The all energy they are wasting. Spending so much money to just know what is happening there. Right? What is happening there, what is there. You let it be happen. You first understand what is happening with you. The life is more important than outside objects, because these outside objects are meant for the sustainability of life. Now people think other ways. They think we are meant for the objects. If you get more money, more objects, we are more happy. So the create objects, make it easy, available, plenty available, then we are happy. It's not like that. So sustainability of life is more important. So you understand your own manifestations. Then you will be happy with everything. And what is already there outside, it is there. It is not going to change. If you change, everything is useful for you. So this is the philosophy of Sankhya, Yoga and Vedanta, all our main philosophy. They are based on this. Even Buddhism, Jainism and all those. They say, you bring transformation in yourself. This transformation is real transformation. So understand what is dharmi. Here our dharmi is, you know what is our dharmi? Here the chitta is the dharmi. Because all these days we were trying to understand what is chitta, the modification of chitta. With that, we are trying to understand what is samadhi means. It means our life and practice is connected to the substance called chitta. Now this chitta is a subtle manifestation of the Prakriti itself. So you know, if one part of the Prakriti, you know the all Prakriti. Prakriti in all. If you want to understand what is the material, what is this earth is, you take a part of earth, clay, and do experiments. If you understand that part, then you understood the clay everywhere. So we have no option but to take chitta for experiments, examining what it is. Then once you know that, you know all manifestation. So this is the unifying theory of philosophy, now unifying theory of physics. So this way you can understand it. So Shanta Udita Avyapateshya. This Shanta we know what is already gone, because we know the sequence of modification. Then we know what is past and what is being and what is going to come. We have some idea. But this Avyapadesha is very difficult to know from where it comes. So you remember this analogy of seed. From that you will understand how it comes. It is there, but it is not known. Even then, the core material, or what we can say the matter itself, that is substance, that is there. The matter doesn't change. So, Avyapateshya dharma anupati. Anupati means closely following. All the changes are connected to this dharmi only. Dharmi is with these changes. We perceive the changes, not the dharmi, not where it is happening. We are more attracted to the changes. Yeah. We don't know where it is happening. We know the functions of chitta, but we are unable to know what is chitta is, how it functions. So this is basic theories of manifestation. Now, by this you understood what is the definition of manifestation and what is the definition of what is manifested, the characteristics of substance. Now, he is going to give another tool to have the siddhis, how the siddhis are formed. This is important sutra in this context. Kramanyatvam parinamanyatve hetuhu. So here we understood all the modifications of matter, all the properties of matter is there in a substance, and it exists in different form, sometimes appear, sometimes doesn't appear, sometimes describable, sometimes undescribable. It means the potentiality of all these changes is there in the substract. When you know in which sequence the substratum changes, then you know the manifestation. You got it what I said? The sequence in which the substratum changes its characters, if you know that, first, second, third, fourth, like we got the cotton seed. If you know this cotton seed can be in future, it can be the form of cotton. So now the product you are seeing, the manifestation you are seeing is cotton. Now you have seed with you. You know the sequence. If you make the seeds as plants, and plants will bring the flowers and then the cotton, then you can take the cotton out and the cloth, we can make the cloth. So this is the manifestation sequence. He is saying here, if you know the sequence of manifestation, the sequence underlying of a manifestation, then you know the past of that object, the present of that object, and the future of that object. This is very simple. Now we are trying hard to know our past and future. There are many debates and confusion over it. He is putting the theory very simple. If you know that, you know. Otherwise, no. You try to know what is the substance in you. So you are connecting yourself with Chitta. Chitta has a manifestation in sequence. If you try to understand that by your own abilities or created abilities in the Chitta, you know how Chitta is going to manifest. So you know the past, you know from where it is coming, you know the present, now it is here, you know the future, now it is going to be less. This is the formula to understand. He is giving the formula of manifestation. There's the definition. Now formula. And this is always, you see, this sequence is invariable. You cannot change it. That is why it is true. It is reality. I told you this. This is not a philosophy of mysticism. This is the philosophy of reality. This is realistic philosophy. This taking as what is happening there. Materially and physically and psychologically. All three forms are discussed here. We are discussing outside material cause with the matter and effect, energy, and we are discussing this physical body, what it is, how it develops, and the psychological level of that. Now what is left? Nothing. Everything is included there. So it is a complete manifestation. Now when we take birth, is taking birth, now you are in this earth, this planet. So you are putting some weight, some load on this planet. How it is? Because when you are here, you must stay somewhere, you need space, you are going to occupy some space. And when you are here, you must eat something, you need food, you need oxygen, water, and you are going to produce some waste that is going to pollute the atmosphere. So even a single being is heavy for the planet. It means you are counted in this manifestation. So then when you are counted means you have all the facilities. Like every country count their population of beings, human beings. Why they count? Because accordingly they have to manage everything. Therefore they count. In this planet also there is a counting system. There is a counting, there is a limited energy and limited oxygen and limited food. So the planets itself have the recycling system or balancing system. It itself balances. This is the manifestation in the planet. If we don't see that, we think that everything is made for us. No. It cannot be. You are just one part of that. You have your own things for your experience, for your sustain your life. Everything is there for you, but you don't think that this planet is for me or for only for human beings. For this is something different. So similarly, when you think about your mind, you don't think that in this body, this is what I am. Now what is there in me? Who I am? You should not think like that. Because when you limit yourself with this body, you only see what is there. You are trying to find out the previous, the past and the future with this body elements. This is only a manifestation of that. Like in seed in the form of flower, if you see seed in the form of flower, you will not see the seed there, nor you see the cotton there. It is flower. It is just flowering now. It will take time. So this is what we are doing. So we want to know the form of flower, our past and our future, it is impossible. The form of flower, the form of the plant, it is not there. You must understand the material cause of that, the potential cause of that, the elements in the plant. Then you will understand, oh, this was there in the seed. This is there, and after when it is coming out with cotton form, everything is there. So this way we have to think. Now here, krama anyatvam. This is what the krama is. Now if you see from this side with this form, you cannot see. Because we only understand this form. We want to see everything with this form. How can it possible? Must know the sequence from where you are developed into this form. So that is krama anyatvam parinama anyatve hetuhu. Krama anyatva means the difference in sequence. The underlying process is the cause for transformation in change. That is, we can say parinama anyatva. The krama anyatvam, the difference in sequence, by knowing the differences in sequence, you know the manifestation, how it is manifested. So krama anyatvam, krama means sequence, anyatva means the difference. The first, second, third, fourth, like that. Then you know the manifestation. Yes, that is the formula here. And you are seeing the manifestation, and in that manifestation which is formed, with that form you want to know the previous part of that, or previous stage of that. It is not possible. It means you want to know your previous birth by taking that now I am this, with this body, I am this. Now I want to know the previous. It is not possible. Now you cannot identify that. Even though it is there, but you cannot see and identify because you are thinking that I am this. If something else is seen, you will see something else. For example, just for thinking we are taking this example. You don't feel otherwise. So because we have to take the examples of previous birth and next birth, it will come to another sutras. So Darwin says, we were monkeys once upon a time. Okay, the human beings, that you know. Okay, we, for the sake of our understanding, we take it that we are monkeys. We were monkeys. And not now we are human beings. Now, you see, you want to know the previous birth. In previous birth, when you meditate for some time, we are going to use some technique of meditation to know the previous birth. So when you meditate on that, you will see monkeys in the form of monkeys. Now the problem is, you will see monkeys, but you will not identify this monkey is me. That is the problem. So monkeys are coming in your mind. It is there because samskara is there. You were previously monkeys. Now, all the monkeys are coming, but you cannot identify this is me. How can you identify? Because you are identifying yourself with human being. You want to see a human being there in previous birth. That is the problem. The other form of that, you cannot see. Similarly, you see something new, some other form, maybe cat or peacock or something else. If it is coming, that it says, no, this is you are going to be. You will not accept. You will say there is something else. I want to know my rebirth. So that is the problem. You want to know your rebirth with this body. This is the block. This is a misidentification. This body will not allow us to know, even though we know everything. Actually, we know everything. But what Darwin said may be correct or not, but now they say it is not completely correct. Because if we are monkeys, the DNA, according to his theory, DNA should prove that we have some qualities or something we took from monkeys. That is not proved until now. So there are some similarities, because God made many of the creatures same. There are similarities, many similarities. Those similarities doesn't mean it is interconnected. So according to the science, we have to see, because science says this and is just opposing this. Anyway, but here the theory is, it is there. The birth are there. Different birth you take. But to understand that, you first should know what is the sequence. It means this way it changes. It's not with the body. Body is only a manifestation in the present. It's like a flower. In the flower you cannot see seed, you cannot see cotton. Flower is flower. Or the plant. Plant is plant. Now, where is seed? The seed is not there, and the production is also not there. It's in a different form. If you want to see the past of the plant, what will you say if somebody asks, what is the past of this plant? Past birth of this plant? We have to say that it was seed. So this is the difference. So if you know that, then it is easy. Otherwise, no. So you have to apply this formula everywhere. They have in other Puranas and other textbooks related to the theory of karma, they described much details on from which thought we can infer from where we came. Because each person is different, having different thought process. And we love something and we do not love other thing. Each person is different. His food habits is different. His mental function is different. So from this you know the previous connections and future also. So future we can say, like if somebody is good practicing, then we can say, okay, he is practicing very well. Now he is going to be a good yogi. That is a future. So even the present, seeing the present, you can say that. So this future is easy, can see and say, but past and sometimes the previous birth and future birth is difficult. So you must know this sequence of process behind the manifestation, the subtle process, then the manifestation is clear with you. So all the examples are there. Now from the next sutra, we are going to start with the extra sensory perceptions, psychodynamic and physiodynamic achievements. Before entering to that, we'll just see what science says related to this, because some background to understand this modification, some new developments, so you can compare with that. So you have this paper already given maybe 4 or 5 days before. So in that paper, first we start with the 1, 2, 3, 4th page. The history of Western science, that is the heading. You got it? So, we take the history periodically. First 15th century AD to 19 AD. This was the time of Newtonian theory based on the gravity theory and all other theories established. In this model, there was no role for conscious observer. So why I am putting all these things? Because now there is a change, not now even, it may be even 15 years, it is already changed. But we are not aware about those things. Because we study everything in our schools mostly with the Newtonian theories. So there, in that theory, this whatever the siddhis or whatever the development, extraordinary developments, has no place. It cannot happen according to their theory. Till the quantum theory, it was believed that this all is just mystic beliefs, blind beliefs, nothing is there. So now it is changed. That is why we are just looking at the... So in that theory, there is no conscious observer. There is no consciousness, no observer. Nothing is there. Only the body and the brain and the chemicals, everything is there. It is working. It is like a machine. It is purely materialistic model. On this basis, all the what is the famous arguments you see in these days is based on this materialistic model. So they don't believe in God, they don't believe in unconsciousness, they don't believe in rebirths. It's like that. And time and space are absolute. These two were absolute in that theory. So there is time for everything. Everything happens in time and in space. And the brain alone exists, and there is no entity called mind. This was believed. There is no mind, because mind cannot be proved. You say mind, what is mind? No mind. So that is what they said. And man is just as a complex machine. This any other machine that robots and things, any other machine. It's a complex machine. Most people believe in this, and this was there. So in this case, there is no possibility of mind and siddhis, etc. In this theory, it cannot happen. It is only everything as we see as miracles, mysteries like that. All energy is different from matter, and it is made of waves of electromagnetism. The energy what we call is different from matter. Matter is different and energy is different. It means matter is without energy. It's just matter. the gross form. Any stuff, something is called matter. And energy is made of electromagnetism. It is electromagnetic energy. Okay, this was the first belief. Then it changed. In 19th century, Einstein came. He made some breakthroughs. So then he produced many points. That is one of that. He developed the special theory of relativity. Special theory of relativity. The first point. I am not reading everything word by word. You already have. If I want to clarify something somewhere, that only those points I am taking. So in this theory, the time is not absolute. Because time is relative. It is connected to mind. And it is connected to velocity. That is what he proved in the theory of relativity. The speed of light and the time is connected. So according to the speed, the time changes. That is the basic theory of that. Now absolute time is not there. Time is totally relative. For that, one example is there in the second paragraph of the first point, the famous example. It shows time is relative, and now it is very much clear that it is relative. The comparison with the age and all those things, so that twin traveled and returned would have aged only 4 years, because they are talking about 20 years. Two twins aged 20 years, and they traveled to the speed of light to some other place and then returns. Then what happened when they return? So one went to the traveling and other was here. So when he returned, then become 24-year-old upon return to earth, who went for traveling more than the speed of light. And who was here, the second one, he was 70 years old. So that is the difference. Who traveled there, he was 24 years, only 4 years he traveled. Now while there was 4 years, here it was how much? If 70 means you add 50 years more. The 50 years different. So he become old. Now they are not twins. So he is 24 and he is 70. So this is in comparison with the time. So there we can see the concept. We can relate, if we can relate this with the concept of the other beings which are famous in our Puranas and even in the Yoga Sutra, we have some mentions about that. So that is like Brahma and other gods, their time is different from us. So that we can compare with this. It is relatively the same, because when where they live, we don't know where they are living, but where they live, it is another planet. If you think like that, the time is different there. It is proved in this way. And that is one thing. Other thing is the next paragraph. The special theory of relativity, space and time are looked upon one entity. He called it space-time. He combined it. Now there is no separation of space and time. Space-time is one. And then all the space gets compressed to just a point. When observer travels at a speed of light, then there is no space. Space is like just a point. Because when we travel, we know when you move the vehicle fast, the movement is different. And your blood pressure, heartbeats, everything changes according to the speed. Is when we are even in normal road, we move car fast. That is why sometimes somebody gets irritated and some uneasiness they feel because of these changes in the body. Everything changes. So you can see more about this on the given link, some videos. Okay, so this is one point. There are many other points related to this theory. But we go to our main point. And the third point, next page, it says that light, the Einstein showed that light is not a wave, but it is also a particle. Previously it was believed that light is as wave. Then he proved it is not waves, particles. Then the development of that becomes solar cell development, where light creates electricity. Creating electricity from light came based on this theory. And Einstein's theories showed that space and time are not absolute realities. Space and time are not absolute realities, but relative realities. So in relation with the matter, in relation with the velocity, we know what is the time and space. According to that, you have to change everywhere. Okay. Then further, after this theory came, this was just the base of quantum theory, quantum physics. Then after that, there was much developments, you know, from the books you studied. Here for the first time, it was realized that the universe cannot be explained without accepting the role of a conscious observer. Now this is the situation there. There they stopped the experiments. Now they are stuck there. The conscious observer is accepted, but you see science developments, what they do, no? Always you can see the history of the science. Every 25, 30 years after that, they just stop the experiments. Then what they do, whatever already is made experiences is made into the theories, formulas, they make products of that. First they produce those theories. And to produce those theories, you want to make products out of those theories, you want to do many other experiments, big machines and factories, everything should be established. And for that, millions, trillions of money spent. Okay. So what they do, until this money is not back, they will stop the further, the developments. That is what happened. Otherwise, now you bring something new, so old machines are waste. Now you have to change all the machines. So now they are waiting. Now whatever the quantum physics develop, you can see the computers and the mobiles and all other satellites and this, so many things. It's a big, big business in the world. So they will use all these theories and make money and develop things. Then once it is it is the money is back, the investment is back, then they do further development. Otherwise, no. Already more developments are there, but they are not revealing it, disclosing it. They are not using it. Everything in the control of this, business people, they just control everything. That is the reality. So when they came to know this stage of the conscious observer, there is some role of conscious observer related to this quantum theory, they stopped it there. Because if that is developed, then the material world is going to change completely. There is no need for mobile phones. Without that, you can talk to each other. You want to send message, you just close the eyes and think about the person to whom you want to send, and there will be some number or something, some message connected, and he will be attracted to this, and then sitting there he will know what you want to say. Telepathy. It is possible. It is quite possible. But they stopped it. Why? Because once it is developed, no business is going to happen. Because for this, there is no need for any machines. What they can produce, there is no chance for business. So because by mind you can do that. Your brain is the instrument there. And your brain, which is, you got free of cost. And it has so much capacity. If you are able to use that, then everything is closed. So they don't want to close this. So they stopped there. Okay, that is different story. Now, this conscious observer is accepted. Okay. Then first point, reality is created by the process of observation. Now you follow this point correctly. This is the theory of Sankhya. This is the theory of yoga. This is the theory in future it is going to develop. So reality is created by the observer, the process of observation. So in Newtonian theory, there was no connection with the observer. It was totally ignored. And here, the observation has something. It has no independent objective existence if the observer is not there. It means, the next point says, reality is non-local. So now we are talking about the reality of the matter, energy together. The reality in all, what the science say as reality. So they say reality as connected to matter, energy and everything. That is their reality. Okay, so the reality is non-local. It means it is all-pervading. And this means that everything is connected to everything else. Everything is connected to everything else. We discussed about this. You remember? This whole, how it is created. So there is a connection. So everything is connected to everything. You cannot separate because the reality is one and the same. And how it is, again it says, no object can be isolated from the universe. This is the cosmic relation what we talk about. In all our philosophy, we talk about cosmic intelligence, cosmic egoism, cosmic consciousness, cosmic developments, cosmic gross elements. Everything for us is cosmic. And it is interconnected. Why you are enjoying the elements outside? Because you have some relation, some tuning with outside elements. You have to accept that. Without that, it's not possible. Our seers, the rishis, like Patanjali and so, they could see it, they could experience it. You see how clearly he is mentioning about all these things. Without experiencing, without making the theory, how can you make these formulas? It is impossible. You cannot just sit and write like this. It's not imaginary. He's trying to give all the evidence how it is formed and giving the evidence of our own experience. That is more than sufficient. You are giving the evidence of machines, and here we are giving the evidence of experience. Now what is stronger? The visions can go wrong, and they are wrong always. You know, there are incidents, you can see in the net, there are so many incidents happening, all blunders. Somebody operated the brain operation, no? The left brain had some problem. So they took in the to the operation room, and there was emergency operation, and they operated. Then the patient was out. Then again scanned. The operation needed was for left brain, and the right brain is operated. The operation happened. Did on right brain. So this is the mistakes happen. It is not, we cannot blame anybody because that has limitations. So many differences are there. Anyway, so they understood this before the relation and they tried to maintain it, and from that they developed the theory of the meditation or theory of achievements or theory of everything. This was the connection there. It is interconnected. Now, no object can be isolated from the universe. Now, if you make some thoughts, these thoughts are connected to the energy outside, and that energy is connected to all beings outside. If you make positive thoughts, it is going to reflect in the energy outside. That is the quanta, where they say in quantum physics, the quanta is activated. It is reflected there because the observer has some role in the quanta. Quanta cannot be experienced directly. The next point says that all the observable in the universe are a manifestation. You see, all the observable in the universe is a manifestation. What we say as Vyakta Rupa. It's a manifested form of a single entity called the quantum function field. We can call it Q, which cannot be directly observed. This is the problem. Till now, they believe they are taking the benefit of quantum physics, but they don't know what is quantum is. The reaction of quantum is used. Only we can infer that quantum is there. This is in between. like our Prakriti. There is some connection with the qualities of Prakriti and this quanta, what they say. It is almost similar. The functions are there. The first manifestation you can see, that we say as Mahat, Linga Matra. It is the first traceable. Beyond that, it is untraceable. If you just you compare with this, we can understand the differences. Because they say this Prakriti is full of energy. And there is always manifestation. It is not still. The same thing they say for the quantum also. They say quantum is energy itself, or it is full of energy. And all the sources of energy are connected to this quantum. And it is always active, always in movement. Thus, quantum fluctuation or something they say, so it is there. In that everything is happening. And that is not perceived. Only you can infer that is there. So beyond this traceable, something is there. So we trace it, the traceable is with intellect. That is the connection between intellect and the object. Where we say intellect is there the object is observed. You see, clearly it is connecting with that. And then now we use Q for the quantum. This Q is changing in a certain way and includes all the possibilities. All the possibilities. Now you have to remember, this observer is different from this. Now the role of observer will come. When an observation or a measurement of speed, energy, etc. is made by a conscious observer, then Q become fixed or collapsed into one possibility, which is the observed value of speed and energy. This is the role of observer there. This is till now this is proved. Till now they believe in this. They have to work on this more, but this is there in their theory. So here we get two things. One is that the quantum includes all the possibilities of development. So we were talking about this related to Prakriti and Chittam. All the possibilities are there in that level, not with the words, but with the manifestations. It can be manifested. And now regarding observation, when the conscious observer is observing the quantum, the quanta, then it becomes fixed. Otherwise it is in movement. This quantum, as they say, has two manifestations. One is, always it is in movements, there is some changes in itself. That is always there. And the other is, when somebody observer, one conscious observer observe it, the movement of the quantum changes and the manifestation changes. From this, they bring objects. This is the reaction. The observer is playing a role to stop the quantum and bring it into the form of quanta, and then they connect the energy with the manifestation. So this is two manifestations. Only one is without observer and one is with observer. So here we can see this. This is very clear here. Here we say as the observer as Sakshi or consciousness, whatever we were talking about, that is Purusha itself. We are not really connecting to, just giving comparison and example. Because now we have to prove it. It is on the way of proving. So we are not taking it. But we can say that the observer is, here the observer is, real observer is consciousness. So the consciousness is connected there. And when the consciousness, the conscious observer sees, understands, then the intellect is ready. There the reflection is there. If you take this observing as a reflection, then it is clear there. Then after reflection, the manifestation happens. So here also they say, once the observer is observing the quantum is still, then it can be used for manifestation. It can be developed. Okay, so collapsed, and this is. Then one experiment on quantum entanglement. This is quantum entanglement. I was talking about this. This is another amazing theory that two particles can influence each other instantaneously without any electromagnetic or any other signal passing between them. This is the development happening now. This is called quantum computing. You know about this. This is a new science. Now, after this quantum computing, the mobiles and all the instruments are going to change. Now there is no need for this instrument, because this instrument is working with the electromagnetic theory. This is based on that theory. And it's waves and connectors and that's all. Now once the quantum computing comes, it is very, very different. So we wait for that. Already they started to produce this. It may take another 30 years to establish something from that. So this is related to quantum computing. That quantum entanglement, it means two particles influence each other even though they are far away. If the two particles are in same frequency and amplitude and with the same energy background, then they can communicate. And how? Without any support. There was much debate on this point. How it is possible. But now it is proved it is possible. And there is no time for that. Because even mobiles and other signals, when they move, they must have time. There is some time connected to that. But in quantum entanglement, there is no time business. There is no need for time. It is happening in like the same object in same place it is happening. The same particle is not changing it. So, if you just remember what happens in your mind. So when you close the eyes and when you remember something you experienced many years ago or far away from here, it appears like just now it is there. This is the the entanglement theory connected to mind. Now we are going to use this theory. Based on this theory, I am going to give the example for many of the siddhis. Because if it is proved, it can be there. Because the mind is there, mind is a quanta. Now what we say as the energy, here we are producing so much energy. You know how much it is produced here. So this energy is producing here, and then electromagnetic function, something is there, and the cosmic quanta or whatever we say, that is connected to this. Now there is communication. It is reacted. Because who is observer? Observer is observing with the brain. So it is, the connection is there. Now this entanglement, it says it can be connected at no time the action and reactions are happening. The communication is the same. And this theory they are going to use. Already they started to use for the satellites, and now the Mars mission and all those things, they are using this. Because it is breaking the time of light, the speed of light. There is no need for that. So that is something mysterious. So that means that they are directly in connection with each other in a mysterious way, like in telepathy. So this connection is important. Now we say telepathy, how it is possible. In this theory, if it is developed, it is quite possible. When you think that quantum is activated and the particle in another quantum can be connected if it is in the same frequency and same wavelength. Now I am talking about this frequency and amplitude, all everything is connected with the Newtonian theory. So quantum theory, they have another things for all these things. So this is the way it is possible. And it was happening before this theory was established, and now also it is possible, because now we are not trying to do that. We are against that, and we are using mobile, and the whole world tells us, you don't go for this telepathy, these techniques, you don't use your even auto suggestion, you buy our mobiles, and we are bringing so many mobiles, and you buy it and use it. Give us the money. So we are educated in this way. Therefore, it is impossible for us to believe. So now you are listening to Yoga Sutra for these many days. So I am taking this. Otherwise, in the beginning, if I start with this, nobody going to follow. This is all mysterious something. It is not connected. Now you know what is happening. So in this stage, it is necessary to connect this with. Okay? Now, just the next important point is, quantum function can never be directly observed, but everything in the universe can be reduced to just this Q. This is. It cannot be also observed, but everything can be reduced in this. Immediately everything is based on this. It is avyakta. You see, we have one name for Prakriti is avyakta. It is unmanaged, it is untraceable. The word itself is says alinga. It cannot be traced. It's untraceable. But all physical entities are vyakta or manifest aspect of Q. This is the entanglement, there is a connection. So this is from the same quantum that this physical body is developed and mind is developed. All the functions are happening in that. So we are part of that. We cannot separate us from the main source. This is what. This manifestation, Vyaktikaranam, happens when an observer makes an observation. You see? This is the theory they say, the Sankhya says. When an observer makes an observation, it means one karma is produced, one thought is produced. The producing thought itself is manifestation, otherwise you are in samadhi. When you go to sleep, deep sleep, there is no thought. The first thought is produced. The observer is on, the quanta of that observer is active. Now it produces signals, waves, energy, everything is diverted. Otherwise, it is connected to the main quanta, the cosmic quanta. It is possible, and it is what is happening. And now then, this manifestation happens when the observer makes an observation. He does a measurement. It means the limitation what we feel with ourselves is because of our mind's function. This everybody can experience. Why we are separated from other person, other body? Because we have a separate mind, separate elements functioning in us. That is why we separate us. Actually, it is not separated. If you see the elements of the body, elements of the earth planet, elements of the sun in that galaxy, the whatever there in the galaxy. So they have investigated 7 trillions of galaxies. Now we know there are 7 trillions of galaxies. And all the galaxies, whatever there in the galaxies, stars and all those, whatever there, planets, they have the same elements what we have. The sun has the same elements. The earth has the same elements. And our bodies also, the basic elements are same. Now how it is possible? How it is possible and why it is so? What is the reason? There is some reason. You have to say there is some reason. That reason is this: everything is connected to one source. Source of material, cause of energy, whatever you say. Otherwise, how can it be the same? So this is the theory here established. So the observer's decisions and choices influence the quanta and create or influence the reality of the quanta. This is the mind which is creating our existence. The mind is creating the karmas, and the mind is connected to the outside manifestation. This is why this is the manifestation happening there. The manifestation is with this. Because when the observer sees, his choice is connected to the observed quantum. The influence is there. That is what they say. That is why it stops. It changes. Immediately there some interactions happens when you see. So your energy of the mind or whatever is interacting with the cosmic energy, the theory there. So this is the connection. And the word observer in the quantum physics is not the passive sakshi, but he is the jnata or knower. That is the difference. Because one who collected and sent to me for my purpose here, so he knows this, some of our philosophies. He was there in Uttarkashi, our student. He is an IIT engineer. So his name is Raghav Kumar. I requested him to give all this anew because he is very much connected to this. So he says here the difference is this observer is not the sakshi, what we say. The observer there, they say observer is jnata. Like we say, I see, I know, I do. That I is the observer here. So till now it is there. And bhokta or experiencer. Science is for the first time through this quantum physics accepting that theory that there is a knower who can influence the Q. This is the first time they accepted it. When the observer who is accepted in quantum physics as not part of the measured object, It means the object is different from the observer. If the object is quantum, this observer is something different from that. The observer is also connected to quantum by material side, but it's still different and makes choices. He makes choices that leads to the brain activity in specific way. So knower is responsible for locking the cue in a particular state, and so he is beyond the physical brain. This is a concept. This is not proved now. Now they say the observer is related to the brain. It is something related, but not the brain is the observer. This much they say. There is a difference between the observer and brain. Brain is not observer. Brain is a medium of observer. The observer is connected to the brain. That is there. The physical brain activity is a result of the collapsed wave function. The physical brain activity is a result. What we see, the physical brain activity, actually the result of that the same function happening there. Somewhere it is happening. Brain is reacting to it. It is something is happening outside and brain receives it and the reaction happens here. It is like that. Like the waves are received in the mobile, then mobile is ringing. So there is some connection. When the waves are received in a particular frequency, it is ringing. The same thing is happening here also. It is happening from outside, and this is also proved in BBC. If time allows, we will show you a good documentary of BBC and other are jointly made about these things. Very interesting how it develops. And they say previously the theory was after something happened, brain receives the signals and then it reacts. This was the theory. We studied in our schools. That's what is there. But now it says, before the incident takes place, brain knows it and it starts to react on it. It's already starting reaction. So this was proved by experiments by BBC Science Division. So it is shown there. We will find some time to see it. And there is more. I'm not going to read those, but there are two more points to clarify. We will take it in the evening section. Meanwhile, you can read out all the things, and there are that links are given in the paper. Each subject, the links are there. So if you are interested, you can get more information about the new developments. This science is called side stream science, and mainstream science is something different. So what they say mainstream means where you can produce things and make money. That is mainstream science. And this is side stream, because if we try to produce this, they are not going to get the money. So this is all side stream. Because when the material cause is subtle and subtler, there is hardly any manifestation. You cannot manifest emission for subtle things. And then the other problem is, if you make a machine for that, it will not be damaged. It will stay as the same. Then they cannot produce new machine. That is why what they do, now they produce new mobiles. They understood it. Because mobile, there is very less chance of the system where it's there is no chance for damage. The material used in the mobile, if you know something about that, it is very hard things, very special. It will stay on for years. Why I say, you see, the same material and same board program is used for satellites. The program or the formula or the material is the same which is used in your mobile, and that same material is used for the satellite program also. Satellite stays for years. The same thing is happening there. And here your mobile is off and damaged, and it gets problems after 6 months or 1 year. Why it is so? Because that is also programmed in the mobile. It is very classically programmed that you will not feel that it is programmed. You will think, okay, I used for this many months, so that is why it is getting these problems. No, that is there in the program. This is very secret of the companies. So it is there. The program, otherwise it cannot get. Damage happen if it falls down, it breaks, that is different. Otherwise, there is no chance for damage. So it is there, and then now you see all the mobiles are inbuilt batteries. Previously the batteries were separate. Now they made it as one, because that is also for business. Because if you change the battery, then you can work for more than then why, if they produce mobile, where they can sell. So now the battery is gone, means mobile is gone, there is no chance to, you have to change the mobile. And it is hardly repairable, you cannot repair it. There is less chance to repair, because all the programs are like that. Anyway, this is all connected to mainstream of science, and this, the real theories now is in side stream. It will come to mainstream if the future allows. After 30, 40, 50 years it may come to the mainstream. Okay. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya